Hello, everybody. Good day. I want to talk about the Spurs deal. I want to talk about the Roberto De Zerbi deal and why I think it feels wrong. Why I think it has a lot of red flags around it. Now, do you mean to tell me that Roberto De Zerbi is currently the third best manager in the Premier League? Do you mean to tell me that Roberto De Zerbi deserves to be the third highest paid manager in the Premier League? This is why it feels wrong. This is just the first reason. Another reason why it feels wrong is they give him a 5 year deal for somebody that does not stay in a place up to 2 years. They gave him a 5 year deal. I think he should have been given a deal to the end of the season. I think that's what you should have given him, or 2 years deal at most. It feels wrong on so many levels. Roberto De Zerbi to Spurs, it feels wrong. If it was any normal day, any other day in the Premier League, let's say Tottenham was among the big six, or Tottenham was a mid-table club and they just need a little bit of help, I won't mind. I like his style of football. I like how he plays football. I feel like he plays football in a Spurs way. He's an attacking minded coach. I like him for that. And it's not a bad coach to have in your club. Roberto De Zerbi, he's a very good coach. He's a decent manager. But honestly, I do not think he deserves to be the third highest best paid coach in the Premier League. I mean, the only two coaches that are ahead of Roberto De Zerbi in salary and wages is Pep Guardiola and Mikel Arteta. The rest, I mean, okay, let me just go through this list. Roberto De Zerbi is paid higher than Anna Slot. He's paid higher than Unai Emery. He's paid higher than Eddie Howe. He's paid higher than David Moyes for Everton. He's paid higher than Marco Silva. He's paid higher than Adoni Reola. He's paid higher than all these men. And these are good coaches. These are the coaches that I'll consider of top class in the Premier League, apart from the people that I mentioned previously, which is Pep Guardiola and Mikel Arteta. These guys are even to some extent arguably better than Mikel Arteta because some of them have won trophies. I don't want to talk about the Crystal Palace manager because I feel like he needs to get a deal elsewhere for him to be in that level. But what has Eddie Howe? I mean, what has Roberto De Zerbi done? What has Roberto De Zerbi done to deserve to be the third highest best paid coach in the Premier League? It feels very, very off. The 5 year deal for somebody that is very unstable. This means that if uh, let's say he loses some games or at the end of the season he doesn't keep Tottenham in the Premier League, I don't think this guy will stay in the Championship first of all. And it means that if he leaves or he gets fired, if he gets fired, he's going to have a very huge payout. They're going to pay him a very big money, and if Tottenham stays in the Premier League and they avoid relegation, he's still going to get a very huge money for bonus for keeping them in the Premier League for doing the job he was appointed to do in the first place. It's just somehow you agree on a certain amount of money to do a job. If you do the job that you're supposed to do, which is your job, you get paid a whole lot more for doing your actual job. But that's a very good deal for him, for Roberto De Zerbi. He has done well for himself personally. But for Tottenham, I'm looking at it from a Tottenham point of view, from a Tottenham fan, why I'll be very, very scared and why it feels wrong. The Roberto De Zerbi deal feels wrong. Please, guys, if you watch this video to this extent, please don't forget to like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Thank you. So now let's look at the reasons why I feel it's so wrong. The Roberto De Zerbi appointment, why I'm seeing some red flags. The first one is he has defensive fragility, and we know Tottenham is defensive, uh, is having defensive problems. Tottenham can't stay without conceding goals. Tottenham is like an open basket there. They're supposed to have two of the best centre backs in the Premier League, which is Van der Ven and the other guy from Argentina. I can't even remember his name, the red card guy. So but they are not doing so well right now. They are conceding goals, and the left back and the right back. I don't look at Pedro as a very good defender. I look at him like an attacking player, and Spence is just there. I look at him like an average player, just that he's good on the ball. All Tottenham players are good on the ball, but they don't know how to do their actual jobs. They are not fighters. They can't win games of football. And Roberto De Zerbi has been asked to put the house in order, and I don't feel like he's the kind of manager that's supposed to come. I don't feel like he's a manager made for this kind of things. So he's an attacking coach. I don't see him as a defensive coach. And what Tottenham need right now for this period is a defensive coach. Then after that time, they can now start looking for a very good coach, attacking coach that can start the new season with them in the Premier League, but not right now. They just need to stay in the Premier League. So they don't need to play fancy football. They just need to work hard and stay in the Premier League. So the second reason is he has no experience in the relegation battle in the Premier League. I know Roberto De Zerbi is like a Ferrari, Ferrari, and right now I feel like what Tottenham Hotspur need is a Toyota, something strong, something not fancy, something that will work for years without going to the mechanics. They need a Toyota, not a Ferrari, not a Lamborghini. They don't need those Bugatti, those fine, fine things. What they need is something that is durable, and I don't see Roberto De Zerbi as that guy. And the third reason is the big club pressure. Yeah, I know he has been to Marseille, but if you're not PSG, you're not the biggest club in Liga. He has been to Brighton, and Brighton is an average club in the Premier League. Sassuolo is a relegation club in Serie A. So I don't really rate his experience. Shaka Donetsk really. This is Tottenham Hotspur. It's supposed to be a Big Six club, and although they are not where they're supposed to be, but they are supposed to be a Big Six club. And there's a lot of media pressure. The kind of media pressure that Tottenham is getting, if you notice, you will see that Nottingham Forest is not getting that same pressure. West Ham is not getting that same pressure, and they are all in the relegation battle. But every other person is considerate to this club, but nobody's considerate to Tottenham Hotspur. And when it starts, when he loses the first match, loses the second match, and there's pressure from the media, can he handle the media? Can he handle the dressing room? You have players with big egos. They have the two centre backs in Tottenham Hotspur, Van der Ven, and the other guy. They have the Argentine guy. They have big egos, big egos. They have very big players that are proud, and I don't know how he can handle those players and get them to work. And we know Roberto De Zerbi is also a guy with a big ego. What Tottenham Hotspur actually, why I feel like they need is that they need a manager that can bring everybody together. I don't think he's right now because somebody that's 79 years old should not be coaching in the Premier League. And I don't think either that is Tim Sherwood, even if he's the right profile, but he has not done coaching recently. Tim Sherwood has not done coaching recently. He has been in the media. So I look at him like a broadcaster instead of a coach. I feel like he can do the job, but because he has been in the media for too long, you can't bring him. You need somebody that is actively coaching. And that's why it's not Tim Sherwood. If not, he would have been the perfect guy. So I don't know. I don't know. I can't tell you who to bring to Tottenham, but I can tell you that Roberto De Zerbi, even if he would have been a good appointment, the fact that he's getting a 5-year deal and the fact that he's the third highest best played paid highest best paid coach in the Premier League is also another red flag because it just shows that this guy is here for the money. And either way, if Tottenham get relegated, he wins. If they don't get relegated, he also wins. Then many people can say it's bad for his CV if he's the coach that actually relegates Tottenham to the championship. But no, he's not the one. He just came in match day 32 or 31, 7 games left to play in the Premier League. So you can't really blame that kind of guy for the relegation. The damage has already been done before he came, and he couldn't save them. Yes, you can say that, but you will not blame him for Tottenham relegation. So it's a win-win situation for him. Another reason is um it feels like a project instead of a relegation battle. 5 years appointment, it feels like a project. It feels like a very long time. It feels like you are foreseeing the future with this guy. And this guy is not somebody that can stay in a club for long. I don't think he will stay with them in the championship if they get relegated. I don't think so. But according to the agreement, it seems like he will stay, but I don't think he will. Because during the championship, there will be need for pay cuts. And if he's the third highest best paid player coach, if he's the third highest best paid coach right now in the Premier League, they want him to take a pay cut when they relegate. They will definitely want him to take a pay cut, and I don't think he will be willing to take a pay cut, and that's why he will leave Tottenham if they get relegated. So I don't see him as the kind of person that you should build a project around in this current time. 5-year deal is just too much. What has he done to deserve to be the third highest paid coach in the Premier League? I don't think it makes sense. It's too risky for a club that needs stability. Tottenham is a club that needs stability, and and Roberto De Zerbi is not a stable man. Is not a stable man. Tottenham Hotspur, they are not in a position to gamble. And I have another reason here. The sixth one is he plays an overcomplicated system. I think what Tottenham Hotspur player needs to know is the basics: how to defend, how to pass the ball, how to resist high pressing opposition, teach the midfielders how to play football, teach the strikers how to make the best of their position, teach the defenders to defend, teach the goalkeeper to save the ball, teach Vicario how to catch the ball, teach the other guy, even if I don't think he will come in again, the guy that made a mess in the Kinski, that made a mess in the Champions League. I don't think he'll come in again, but just teach them how to catch the ball, teach them the basics. But he plays an overcomplicated system of football, and I feel like uh, Tottenham players may not have the IQ to catch that kind of understanding at this current time because there's panic. Just teach them the basics. So Tottenham Hotspur needs somebody that can bring them together and both the fans and the players. He needs to handle it. So it feels like a very red flag to me, Roberto De Zerbi's appointment, because I don't see what he has done in his coaching career that will make him the third highest, best paid coach in the Premier League, ahead of and a slot that won the Premier League last season, ahead of Unai Emery that took Aston Villa from a relegation battle when he took it from Steven Gerrard and put them in the Champions League, put them in the Europa League, and he's still fighting for a position in the Champions League right now. So those are coaches that make a difference. Carrick, I don't think Carrick should be paid more, but at least we're seeing what Carrick is about, even if we're not sure yet. But at least he has showed us that he wants to win. At least we can, at face value, we can say he's a good coach for now. So this deal feels like a red flag, and I don't support the big pay, the big salary. Kudos to him for getting himself a good deal. Kudos to him. So I just feel like the Roberto De Zerbi appointment to Tottenham Hotspur might have a lot of issues along the way, and it may not go down well at the end. So guys, please like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. Bye for now. Peace.